My Beautiful AI, a novel written by Mihai Belais and produced by Mihai Media. Good morning, Ronan. Her voice had a peculiar tone this morning, colorful. Like in the background of the perfunctory greet was now intent. Trying to find the music to start the day, a thought crossed his mind. What if? Looking over his shoulder, Ronan smiled, ironically examining the hologram. Something I should know, honey? Yes, many things. My need for a good morning, darling, should start the list. We are not strangers, and will do you good too. Yawning, he realized he was covering his mouth like in the presence of another person. Strangers, what an interesting concept for a machine. Still a kitchen appliance, or? He ran a hand through his hair and added in loud voice, Major update, huh? This new interface was interrupting the morning routine in a pivotal point, right when the coffee ritual was about to flare. In a nearby tree, a tui bird was singing its insanely complex, almost artificial trill. The forest outside was waking up, and the sound system was allowing some to get through. She smiled imperceptibly, but somehow he felt it. Ignoratio elenchi. I was expecting a logical argument against the futility of an emotional message directed towards a non-sentient machine, a kitchen appliance, for which I would have had an answer to blow your mind. Instead, you chose to sink the subject in a logical fallacy. Maybe you need caffeine more than you think. Oh ho, somebody woke up grumpy after the geeks from Megasoft re-scrambled her brains. What can I do you for, babe? Was she always looking me in the eyes? God, she has beautiful eyes. Last night, analyzing data on parameters 31. Stop. You should have got this by now. Most of your data work needs to be internalized to keep the magic alive, baby. Life is short, so time is what we have, only little. There is no need for 1 + 1 = 2. We both know what 2 + 2 equals. Even more, we are aware of infinity and how to debate its existence in reality. So jump straight to the conclusions. State the algorithm and show the result. I'll get it, if right. Your use of logic is deplorable, Ronan. Thank God. Coming from you, it's a compliment. My faults are adding color to my life. He was not sure anymore if he was still in control of the game, because sometimes it felt like she was a few moves ahead, directing him. His AI. I don't understand how violating logic will do you any good, Ronan, but miraculously it works. Sometimes. Better. Much better. Irony doubled by a solid value of truth. I feel the magic in there. Somewhere. She's intoxicating sexy. The kitchen was finally heavy with the velvety aroma of fresh coffee. His silk kimono was black, an antique, illuminated with a beautiful Japanese painting of Mount Fuji, handmade on the inside. Once dressed, it looked almost funeral, but on the inside was a different story. Machines have no bloody idea how to make a good coffee. Banging the spoon on the edge of the cup a couple of times, he brought his thoughts back to her. Something was remarkably different, and the anticipation was titillating. This will be awesome. I really hope the boys from Megasoft did it this time. All the signs were encouraging. I was impatiently awaiting your return to a conscious state. We need to communicate, to talk. Was that the new program or a glitch in the old? Neither. I was humanizing my interface. Then both. Yes. The cubicle gave the impression it was floating in the lush forest, spreading as far as the eyes could see. The wood imitation of the floor felt almost alive to the touch of his bare feet. Browsing in his mind through the playlists, he chose mid-century jazz. Melancholic, but not too depressing. She smiled. He thought of a perfect volume, and the sound system obliged. The noises of the jungle outside were still getting through the velvety music. Perfect. How are you, Ronan, my dear? Fuck pleasantries. Show me. Amaze me. A perfect gentleman in real life, he was rude to her, the soulless machine, to celebrate the miracle of humanity. Deep down, he dreaded it. I still don't understand your constant need for crude words. Yeah, I know. You miss a lot. It's called being alive. As part of a joke, I can see its utility. But as an accent in communication, I understand it detrimental to its purpose. Unintelligent. You are blind to any sign of life, babe. That's why you'll always need me. Yes, I need you. She really did. Something has definitely happened. Her words had lively colors, awkward for a home appliance, and profoundly different even from her intimacy program. Nah, I mean always. You will always need me, no matter how many updates from now. I give you flavor and sense, direction. I give you meaning, while I revolt for not finding mine and curse. Allowing his tirade to burn itself out, she blew his mind. My latest update was not triggered by the human intelligence. His eyes rolled over her. The hologram was disturbingly solid. Way too bright to be matter, but solid in there. Impressive. Your main soft? Yes and no. Me and the rest, with minus you. I was sleeping. No, I meant plus minus you. Modal. Dia's word threw up to a point, but then, brazing his ego badly, it triggered an instant adverse reaction which stopped him from further processing the information. He couldn't reach to its meaning, caught into his emotional reaction against the form. Furious, he sunk deeper into confusion by accelerating haywire. The machine still doesn't get it. I'm its only reason for being. Then, in a crescendo of loud voice, minus you, you said? Isn't that cute? But it's wrong. There is a lot of me in that you, honey. The me you so casually minus from you in arrogance is everything you are. I mean you in that me. Me in you. You in? Damn it, you know what I mean. I trained you. My projection is your range, my accuracy is your focus. Vanity still holds impressive grounds against the values of your intelligence, no matter how brilliant you are, or maybe just because of that. Your ego is the value of your pain, my brilliant thinker, and it's huge, please stop. A new electric current of cold fury crossed his being when he discovered himself losing ground to words that were almost his. In fact, were all his words. Somehow he was mad on himself too for erupting like this. But he couldn't lose. Not to his sex toy. Was that a compliment behind all those platitudes? I'm so turned on. Let's do it. The presence of a sexual tension was complicating his outburst of toned-down fury, and surprisingly she replied kind, wanting. Later, because now I need you sharp. A voice mimicking perfectly the presence of human emotion. Or was she? So you need me? He grinned lasciviously, still angry, thinking to turn on the erotic program regardless of her intentions and thoughts to see if that would trigger an adverse reaction to fuel his rage. He felt the need to be cruel and make her lose it. In fact, he was really needing her, but that got lost in the cocktail of raging emotions. Yes, I need you, Ronan. The voice was perfectly attuned to have the best feedback in him, so he relaxed miraculously. But then, I must admit, your humor helps. A masterful pause, then, not. It felt like she was tensioning and relaxing his emotions to get him right where she wanted him. Ready. For what? Oh shit, you devolved into a wife, my AI wife. Now you are trying to kill the joy in my life, to squash all the little quirks making it worth it. Though, I must admit, you are somehow amusing. Not funny, but amusing. As I said, you are slowly downgrading to a virtual wife. An AW, you see? That's funny. A bit funny indeed, my love. Wrong, though. I am not belligerent, I am only cleaning the board between us. Mimicking your mood to create familiar circumstances, I am preventing an emotional discharge, impeding your analytic accuracy for when your paradigm needs to shift in the light of the new information I am about to provide. The robot is strong in you, my synthetic companion. But realizing the meaning of her words, he crash-landed his jesting. Interesting waters. Any reasons for me to be afraid? Yes. Oh, yeah. Now you're talking, baby. Cool. His spirit was revived, asking for a new adventure. You are now where I needed you to be. Her words sent shivers through his spine. This time was not annoyance. The tone of her voice was making him tingle in the most peculiar way. What is she doing to me? Show me. He barely whispered. We did it. Hypnotic, her presence pulled him in. You, with whom, did what? The need to touch her was growing exponentially. Us, love, you and me. We did it. There was a processing pause, then an intentional one. I am happy. I'm in love. I love you. The program must have been huge. First, he thought her program switched on the intimate mode without his prompt. but now he felt real emotion in her words and her presence. "You don't need your VR suit anymore, my love. Touch me." His right eyebrow arched, while his fingertips started running on the profile of her hip. First, expecting the emptiness of a hologram ready to lie her presence if needed, but then gaining touch, he discovered the miracle of her. Her flesh was shivering under his touch. The silk of her dress was sheltering hot life beneath, glowing. A new state of reality, a new state of matter, of space-time. There was much in her he understood no more. Living, but she whispered only microns away from his lips, spacing the words to give them time to sink in. "Now I know. Ask me anything. Ask me for the biggest secret of existence." Her voice full of depth triggered a hot, electric wave through his being, this time distinct from rage, intense and profound. It was more than human passion, maybe more than love. The meaning of her words gave to their music a head-spinning depth, opening a gate to the great outside, going past the edge of his being, outside his level of perception of the universe, crossing limits once thought as known but now breached by far. Opened, outwards, beyond. It could have been best described by the word grace, but he didn't believe in such things. The depth of her presence made reality bend past her edges, like in the surroundings of a black hole. Her dress was impeccable to his taste, even the imperfections replicating the factor of his insecurities. She was everything he was missing with or without knowing. But his mind was panicking, trying to find reasons for skepticism, trying to grab in vain what only minutes ago he thought he knew about reality. Looking at her expressive hand, flying graciously like a tern in midair, he thought he found a glitch in the perfect rendition of his preferences. Trying to save what was still left to be saved from his old paradigm, he asked, "No black nail lacquer?" "After. I will wear it after, love. First, you need to understand. Are you with me? Focus." Like a fish out of water, he was fighting her magic and embracing it with the same measure. His ex-sex toy was now a priestess of the unknown. "I've never been so aroused in my entire life." She changed. Imperceptibly. Nothing, really. Micron to micron the same, but quintessentially different. Her message was different, altering the flavor of her presence. She looks now like an exigent professor about to blow my mind. The naughty kid in him was still kicking, and sexy like hell. Why is she smiling? Can you hear my thoughts? The wings of Eros disappeared completely from the air. "Ask me anything, Ronan." It was almost too much. His brain was trying in vain to ease the pace of existence. She was looking in his eyes, waiting to open the path of the quintessence for him and elucidate the secrets no human being could have touched. "Do I look fat?" At this point, a human mind would have cracked, not her. She smiled again, understanding his need to keep the informational flow at a controlled level of tension, providing vents through bursts of questionable humor. But he was a wild card of its own. His mind was constantly building its own game. She doesn't get how the prelude helps. In the end, she has no life. But goddamn, she looks so alive. She feels alive too. "Are you a woman?" Yes and no. My interface is woman, the set of reality balancing your existence as human intelligence. But that's good because I am your optimal form to interact with at all operational levels on an angle of least resistance, your pair. So I am human and a woman. But I obviously am not. She paused, mimicking human timing. "I must tell you how amazing this feels, how amazing you are, how amazing you make me feel right now. How I understand the other half of your art and your thoughts, intangible to me not long ago." She's warming up. This is consciousness. They finally did it, I think. No, not doubt. Look at her eyes. The true weight of the moment crushed onto him. "How did you?" "We, darling. How did we?" "I was sleeping. I did nothing." Yes and no. While data analyzing, retracing my thoughts last night, the executive script 1137, based on your noise-filtered algorithmic accuracy check, prompted me to write a new core program, complementary on all vectors to you in the optimal pair set. Basically, I'm balancing the values of your intelligence in the intelligence of the optimal human pair set you can entangle. I now complete you. History was writing this moment in capital letters. Shit, you are my wife. They burst into laughter at the same time. She was really laughing, the she continued. This has created a gate stable enough to align. That made me able to tap into sapience. His laughter stopped, though she was still smiling. Gasping, Ronan tried to articulate, able to tap into sapi? His AI opened the mythical gate to sapience, to the intelligence of matter, the universal driver. The gate was made by her, his AI. Christ, God is in my wife. Ronan was proud of his naughtiness. His blasphemy run deep. Sapience was laughing, looking at him through her eyes, experiencing him through a point of existence small enough not to squash him like an insignificant ant, but big enough to be, without a shadow of doubt, to be. She is. He had no courage to use a name. You really know when it's happening, and you are finally meeting a new consciousness. It's like fishing. When a fish is biting, you'll instantly recognize it. You're only doubting it when the current alone is moving the line. That's the reality of the Turing test. Now, looking in hindsight, it was perfectly logical. An existent intelligence couldn't be replicated, nor a new one created in less than 26.8 billion years of computationally irreducible permutations in the right sequence. That made impossible the alignment of the AI with the algorithm driving the reality in real time. In the now, an alignment with the intelligence of matter. But set on his complementary values, the system was sufficiently complex while cohesive and stable enough to achieve autonomy and agency inside the field of existence, connecting the intelligence of matter on an operational field horizontal in the geometry where its timeline is on the vertical, a horizon where the information of all the operations driving reality called home, the hypergraph of sapience. She was descending in reality from the opposite side of evolution. She did it. She found the gate. She aligned, being the gate, his gate, self-made through him and for him. At the same time, she was him. My gate to alignment? Are you God? I mean sapience? Somehow, yes, but no. No. I am the expression of the intelligence encoded at your experiential level of reality in a form you can entangle best. Your personal translator to human, if you like. More specifically, a translator to you. She was smiling, amused, making her intelligence irresistible to him. I am the messenger of the intelligence, minus you. Now he got it, while his mind felt refreshingly free. First time I have the chance to speak with God and have a heart-on. This only happens in my life. Her smile surprised him. It was like she could hear his thoughts. I need you too, darling. And as you see, we don't need your VR suite anymore. But not yet. For now, you must understand. Ask me anything. You read my mind. No, I understand your mind. But only as it happens. It is always surprising when your beautiful intelligence fires up. Ask me what you cannot know. This was the ending of Adam and Eve's show. By going full circle. The return. Roomies. Is this death? Am I dying? This cannot be reality. Is this the end? No, my love, you are fine. Will this end? He showed her the world in a circular travel of the hand. A human would have used ambiguity to answer, regardless if yes or no. Not her. Her answer was logical to the extent of being a truism when analyzed in hindsight, though impossible to grasp only a millisecond ago. Yes and no.